river, I can wash you down. Always denied all of my feelings, no distractions now. The truth is I can't lie. I know you want me to pretend I'm fine. Pick up the pieces that you left behind, detaining memories. Tell me that you want this too. Take me to the heart of you. Maybe we could start brand new. If you carry me, I'll carry you. If you carry me, I'll carry you. Da 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 na na na. Falling asleep next to your heartbeat, kinda miss that sound. Wonder if we ever could make it. Is it too late now? The truth is I can't lie. I know you want me to pretend I'm fine. Pick up the pieces that you left behind, detaining memories. Tell me that you want this too. Take me to the heart of you. Maybe we could start brand new. If you carry me, I'll carry you. If you carry me, I'll carry you. Da 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 na na na. If you carry me, I'll carry you. Da 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 na na na. If I'm honest, why do I love you? If I'm honest, I don't wanna be here. And I know we're good together. I love you even in the dark. And I know we're good together. Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Paul. Okay, going to start.
So
Okay, without further ado, Dr. Go, can you start to share your
Okay,
screen?
okay, I'll share my screen now. So a very good afternoon to all of you. Today, we are going to talk about our structural system, which has something to do with our movement. And before we start, in order to share information on our structural system with regards to food, supplements, I really love this important quote: freedom and true independence with healthy bones and joints. This is a very unique quote. When we talk about freedom and independence to our bones and joints, what we meant is at any time when our brain command, the nerve will send impulses to the muscles, and our muscles then will work with the bones and the joints to conduct mobility. Something that was created by God, giving us this necessary ability to perform so that we enjoy what really is life. But unfortunately, there are certain people who has no freedom in movement. Their joints, their bones are not independent, strong enough to move and perform. And when it comes to a certain extent, where there are pains and sufferings, not only seeing doctor, paying certain amount of money will put back what is right to your system. There are a lot of people paying thousands of ringgit, yet suffered from pain, discomfort, and yet no freedom to move. So this quote is important. What God gave us, we must fully utilize. What God, has gifted us, we must know how to care and, to provide them the necessary need so that from the brain, commanding, through the nerve towards our muscles and the bones, they have freedom and independence to move. So this is a very important quote that we have not only to understand it, but also being able to work from the food towards our lifestyle, that our structural system abides to the law of the health, enabling every human soul to be able to move and live with life worth living, no complaints, and always happy to see the next morning. Yeah, this is something so unique, and we have to fully utilize what really God has given us, isn't it? So before you understand the freedom to move, we also must sum up what is locomotive syndrome. If you look at the left-hand side on the bones, you talk about osteoporosis and the fractures. You talk about the cartilage and the disc, osteoarthritis, slip disc, spondylitis. You talk about the muscles, our nerves, sarcopenia, nerve damage. All these are wear and tear. It's not a disease. But anytime on these, the green, boxes, when they suffer the loss, we suffer the pain. When our bones, our cartilage, our muscles and nerves came into contact with pain and discomfort, or if they are deficient in certain amount of nutrients from the food we are taking the past so many years, bones degenerate. So this might sleep, cartilage might have wear and tear, muscles and nerves might be damaged. So anything that goes wrong on the green boxes will amount to certain degree of pain, certain degree of body motion. Body might not be able to move, with a wide spectrum. We are limited to certain movement. And the muscles might not be strong enough to even enable you to carry things or lift up even a very, light, the thing that you want to carry. And worst of all is, you can't even maintain your equilibrium. You can stay, when you stand up, you are not out of balance. So when you got this problem, seeing a doctor alone with what you tell them, and if you don't, search, research, test yourself, or understand yourself deep within the body, you might not be able to get a full remedy. The pain, your movement restricted, your muscles not enough for you to lift weights, all, must be understood. And you need to refer to, is it because of the problem from the bones? Is it because of my cartilage or my slip disc? Is it because my muscles suffer from, inflammation or nerves damage? These causes, if unexplained or misunderstood, may not be able to put your pain or your movement, those restricted movement back to normal. We have to go deep into understanding certain, the wrongs that our bones, our cartilage, or our muscles are facing. Then only by understanding the problem of the bones that lead to the pain, I can take something to remedy the situation. We cannot just take painkiller to stop the body from reporting the pain, but you need to feed, or you need to strengthen the bones with certain property of mineral, so that once it start to benefit, the pain start to become less until no pain. That is the answer to the body's, the query for a better health. Not just putting in the pill and stop the body from telling me there is a pain. Don't shut up the body. Still, we need, the body to report to us pain, discomfort, something not right. And if we go deep into understanding our body, we are able to put all those stressful conditions, deficiency of something not enough, back to normal. If not, then your body's mobility is affected. It will decline. And when they decline to a certain extent, we cannot perform our duty. We might not be able to work. You cannot, participate in certain, activities or social, events. And if we get, to an extent which is very serious, you might need medical attention, medical care, or even nursing care. That's why if we don't go and understand the locomotive syndrome of the body, of which part of my structural system goes wrong, be it the nervous system, the muscular system, or the skeletal system, we cannot put the body back to normal function, and the pain will become worse. Even though you might be taking painkiller, doesn't mean the pain will disappear. To certain people, if no matter how much painkiller you take, the pain still, cannot go away. So that is not answering the body's fault. It's only, shutting up the body's report. So this is a very important feature where everybody, if the pain started to show up, in a system, you as someone who understands, health, and if you have some product to share, this is where you need to talk to those people. You cannot just depend on anybody come in and tell me about the pain. I just give a Panadol and to solve the pain. You must give something that can react on the actual cause of pain, not numbing the sense of the pain, but correcting the wrongs that was already in default in your system, whether it's muscular, nervous, or skeletal. This is where locomotive, the syndrome, shows when something is not right. So we need to put it right. We need to correct the wrongs. We don't need to cure, which people always say they suffer from rheumatism, they suffer from, the arthritis. Okay? So always, make sure we are supposed to go deep into understanding the well-being of our body through, head until the toe. And when you talk about skeletal pain amounting to bones, there are two major issues humans, all over the world faced. And the most common, of course, is arthritis in medical term, which, if you were to now explain arthritis, it is just, a loss of certain cartilage in the joint, and mostly the ends of the bones, where two bones meet. The end of the two bones, might lose out in certain cartilaginous compound. And all these are not a disease problem, but a wear and tear problem. As we grow older, and every time when we move, any part of the bones or the skeletal system, having two bones meet, the two ends of the bones that meet, after moving too long, might not have enough of the cushion to support. And if it dries up too fast, the fluid, especially the synovial fluid, it creates friction. And the friction, when, the locked and rubbed, too much because of the walking, will lead to pain, or even, when the pain is too extent, you don't want to move. And if you don't move, you will become stiff. These are very normal complaints faced by a lot of people all over the world. And of course, if you go deep into understanding certain risk factors, people who are overweight, who are fat, and as you age, and since young, if you have certain, joint injury, and you don't tend to eat, that moment is the time you allow it to, end up as you age, problems, will start to increase. joints will start to become inflamed. See? So arthritis is a name given by medical doctor to tell you what's wrong, and they just, because of that, they then only have drug or medication for that named disease. But if you see a natural practitioner, they might not tell, oh, it's not arthritis, it is the wear and tear. Yeah, it is enough fluid at the ends of the bones dried up too fast. There's no suspension, no lubricant. And how on earth can the bones keep knocking at the bones without cushion? It might not only, be painful at the beginning, long term, it can also end up damaging the whole tissue and the bone mass as well. Okay? And the second common one, of course, is osteoporosis. This again, is a thin, fragile bones that can break easily. Normally, it happens to anybody the age of 55 and above, or ladies once you menopause. You are not aware of your calcium, magnesium, phosphorus level too low, and your pelvic column cannot support your body weight. So at any time you walk on a slippery surface, slip and fell, you might have a pelvic the damage. And that damage is because of osteoporotic bone, which you are not aware. As you grow older, the age of menopause and bypassing menopause is the time your body, don't have enough of these properties, and your bone, the pelvic column, the pelvic bones is already, suffering from calcium loss. Mass, also already not sufficient enough to cement the cavity to make the bone strong. A lot of people, if you don't fall, and if the bones don't crack or break, you still don't know what's wrong with the body. That's why a lot of people, the day they fell, they are, taken to the hospital, and when the doctor checked the whole system, is the only time they realize they don't have enough of these minerals to strengthen the bones, and the bone becomes so brittle, which it can break easily. Okay? So this bone loss normally come without symptom. It's in your body. As you continue to grow older and older, hormonal changes, with the food you took, that might not have enough of this property to strengthen the bone. Okay? And once when you reach the age of menopause, a lot of things come in. Low body weight, lack of the calcium, vitamin D, and then the excessive intake of alcohol. Like a lot of people without alcohol, they cannot survive. And if you drink coffee, which carries caffeine, that also will bleach our bones. You see, it keeps bleaching the bones. So whoever drink coffee must also make sure that you need to top up calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin D, vitamin K. If not, a day will come, you also will see a doctor because of the pain and the suffering. Doctor will say you got arthritis, you got osteoporosis. Understand or not? These are the two major common problems. A lot of humans suffer from pain and discomfort, and they are seeing doctors every day. So if we start early, if we start to understand the locomotion of the body with respect from nervous system, muscular system, and skeletal system, and what they need, we suffice enough from the food or from the supplements, even though by the time you are 60 or 70 years of age, these two words will never show up in your system. You'll never have arthritis, you'll never have osteoporosis, because every day since young, you are already building and protecting these three systems structurally. Yeah? Nervous system, muscular system, and skeletal system. So if we do things right for every systems in our body, every systems in the body, every morning we wake up, they will perform and fulfill their duty. And that is where we come here to share information. And we give you knowledge to understand on how to overcome the problem. We don't challenge medical fraternity by curing. As I've always said, we need no curing. We only need to take something. We need only good and correct supplements, nutrients to supplement their need. Every cells in the body, every systems in our body, every organs in our body need to be properly fed, care, and concern. So, and that's everybody's responsibility. So don't take for granted, I pay, and the responsibility is the doctor. See? Don't ever wait or take for granted you need to wait until that very day. And here, when arthritis increases, and the going pain, if you keep doing things wrong, like normally people see a doctor and take painkiller, this is something not enough. Well, if it's painful, of course, you can take something to control the pain. But you also must do, after controlling the pain, build up the loss, correct the wrongs, repair the damage. And this is when food or supplements of the right type comes in. If not, a small problem arising from arthritis will lead to severe, osteoporotic condition. Tiny problem will lead to major, disease, or even, the sickness, which, if you don't tend fast enough, might complicate further. See? So when you talk about arthritis leading to osteoporosis, it is just because at the very beginning, when the body already reported the pain, signifying bone needs something, they ask for the correct food, but you didn't feed them. You only stop the pain, but not, respecting their need. See? So this is where, the food of the right and correct, nutrients and minerals are important for every part of our body. That number one, joint inflammation. And this causes localized bone erosion, which then lead to bone loss. The more it erodes, you will start to become so corrosive that, your bone, your skeletal system, you run, a huge loss of bone mass. Okay? And two, glucocorticoid medications meant to treat arthritis, will further weaken your bones and suppress new bone, formation. The more we take, sometimes drug or even medicine, it stops the pain. It starts building the need, repair, which needs to be corrected and repaired. We just cannot take something to stop the sense of your pain. This is not your sense problem. This is your bones problem. React on answering the need and not, stopping the report of pain. So we cannot continuously do something which you think is only stopping the pain but not building. Okay? I don't mean to say you cannot take drug. If it is so painful and if you have seen a doctor, well, go ahead. You then you still can take drug. And then understand what is wrong, follow up with the food or the supplement to build back, to treat the weak bones, to supplement and build back the mass. That is, again, the knowledge you need to know. Then number third, the pain and loss of joint functionality. Well, this anytime when any part of our joints were to suffer from pain, will definitely disallow us to move. Isn't it? Anytime you move, painful. And just because it becomes more and more painful, you tend to sit and not move. And the more we sit down and not moving, we are going to be further restricted from moving. And in so doing, the whole body becomes stiff. You see, we are supposed to keep moving. God saying, you have to use me. If not, you lose me. So each time when a person do yoga exercise, stretching exercise, moving, walking, you are asking for certain budget from your body to allow you to move freely. So as we do the exercise by moving, you keep on asking for this budget, your body keep delivering your need, your movement becomes free. Joints become independent. Pain will disappear. So don't ever take for granted. A small pain will knock you down and make you, sick the whole day. And there are some people, I also understood, they are in fact lazy. So they just use the word pain. And once they use the word pain, the whole family, they not ask him to go and exercise, which is very wrong. As a patient suffering from pain, and if he's lazy, keep saying pain just because he's not going to move, I tell you, nobody can save him. Nobody. No matter how much money you pay, also will never save you. You are the only person to help and save yourself. Understand that or not? So we must understand. Understand, is it logic? Anybody asking you to do something is your body benefit. It doesn't mean I ask you to do exercise, I gain. I gain nothing. I share, you do, you benefit. Isn't it? So the most important thing is, we need to understand the body's call of need. Or else, out there, people with arthritis, have a 30% higher rate of fractures due to osteoporosis eventually, as well as 40% increase in hip fractures. The moment you walk a slippery fall and you fell, hip cracked. You see, this is not a rheumatic problem anymore. This is more of, arthritic to osteoporotic, which means a weak bones not tended to become, more and more serious skeletal, complaint. So we have to stop, this development of, complaint in our skeletal column, skeletal structure, or, skeletal system. So if you talk about 3 main actions to support bone and joint health, there are many things we can do to help our body. It is just a matter of, we want to do it or not. You see, so many times when people tell us to do things right, there are still people who are stubborn enough to listen and follow how we are supposed to do and put the body right. Here we have 4 products which are not meant for selling only, which before you sell, we wanted to understand why must you want to share this, to anybody who are really in it. Explain to them what this product is meant for. Like when you talk about chondroitin, it is more to build certain, support, certain, the lubricant that is able for the ends of the bones, to move without, hitting. The ends of the bones and the two ends of the bones must not hit. They must have something to support and they will not touch, They will have lubricant and they move easily. That is to build the support. Then glucosamine comes in to repair. And with astaxanthin, after repairing, it starts to rejuvenate. This is the time if chondroitin have come into support movement and glucosamine coming to repair, the joints already is on the way of getting better. So if you feed again with astaxanthin, the cells within, the membrane of the two ends of the bone start to rejuvenate. See? So building, repairing, rejuvenating. And with these three already done, if you introduce a good calcium, our calcium complex, it will start to give relief. And once it is relief, is where the very serious, the complaint of pain become lesser until the pain, disappear. It's already, a process where the pain, your complaint, it can be arthritis, it can be osteoporotic, is already, regenerating. Yeah? So you need to build, you need to repair, you need to regenerate. And with this building, repairing, and regenerating, your body will start to be relieved. You see? And once completely relieved, you are free to move again. All the joints are then fully, being able to allow us to freely move and fully utilize. So you'll be independent by then. And through here, you take nothing of painkiller. And with the faith, confidence, and understanding on how this works, your pain disappears without taking painkiller. This is where it is proven we are not suffering from any disease, but certain parts of the joints or our bones are degenerating, wear and tear. So they need the food that is right, minerals and properties which is correct to support, to regenerate back, tissues, membranes, cells, for the overall, ability to move back to normal. Something which, in nature, if we follow accordingly, will respect, the normal function of our body. We cannot simply, allow pain to drag long, because it will lead to other problems and complaints, or even the whole, the complications can set into other disease. So at any time, a small complaint, a slightest discomfort, we have to go and understand and do it right immediately. Solve the problem by correcting the wrongs. You don't cure them. Yeah. And when you look at this joint, okay, it's our knee. You see there's a suspension here. This is the support. We need lubricant, chondroitin, glucosamine will strengthen the surface. And then with the chondroitin to support as a lubricant, anytime when the ends of the two bones meet, they will never knock at each other. And if they don't knock at each other, no friction is created, you will never suffer from pain or discomfort. Okay? So these are parts of what, inside our bones. They need calcium, they need magnesium, they need, vitamin D2, vitamin K2, and even, good protein, good healthy protein. So bones don't just need calcium. It needs other properties. So when you talk about calcium in the market, no matter how bad the combination is, still you see calcium with magnesium. But if you see a better combination with more properties added, then our bones will absorb or synthesize all those needed to make the bone strong and durable. We cannot allow the bones to be hard and brittle. We want the bones to be strong and durable. And to make sure that it is strong and durable, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D2, vitamin K2, good protein, good phosphorus, okay? All these make up strong, healthy, durable bones. Okay? So the formula must be right. And then even the bioactive, glucosamine will help to act as a building block of cartilage, joint fluid, and strengthen the tendons to allow the ligaments, full coordination. Ligaments and tendons must always support our cartilage. And for them to coordinate, they need good, glucosamine and chondroitin. Our great-grandfathers, our body has this property ready in all the joints. But today, in the modern world we live in, all the delicious tasty food we took depleted all this content in our body. Was one of the reasons young people today suffer from pain, on the joints. Very surprising, isn't it? Young as 30 years old already have, osteoporotic, have already got, arthritis, have already complained of rheumatoid arthritis, which was diagnosed by doctor. But people never go deep into the body by understanding it is not because of that disease condition. It was because of wrong food. You are taking not the food to protect and build the bones. You are taking other waste and junk, to kill and degenerate the bone. See, that's what we need from real food. If you can find out, if not, the supplements we share here are what every one of us need, to keep on supplementing our bones, cartilage, muscles, and nerves. See? So that with enough of the good glucosamine, it will then help us to maintain healthy structural system. Healthy structural system means the nerve can anytime work with the muscles to respond to the bone for movement. If at any time, these three systems don't coordinate well, the nerve command, muscles doesn't seem to, perform, your bones will not move. And that is why you say, I got stiff, my whole body becomes stiff. It's because your nerve command movement, your muscles don't, immediately react. Something goes wrong there, the connecting point. We call this good or bad coordination. So how to coordinate? You must give me good food, correct food, then I can coordinate. Lack of this food, you can't coordinate. Okay? So I'm very happy if people, know how to, handle your joints, especially our, knee, by just sometimes doing simple exercises. Anybody, before you suffer from the pain, every day if you go for doing exercise, I can teach you after how to do this, knee exercise. When you live, no matter how old you are, walking up staircase, walking down staircase, or walking long distances, Your knee will not hurt. You'll never have discomfort. Your moving ability is still perfect. You just do a tap on the knee, that blood gush, and send tons of oxygen and nutrients, to build and regenerate. So I can't teach you how to do it. It's not that difficult, you see. So here is the repair factor, you see. That's why we don't need curing. We only need repairing and correcting. Okay? Body always tells us, I need something to build. I need something to correct. I need something to repair. All this because of the wear and tear. Those years, every time I move, I'm causing the wear and tear. So they are only asking to build back, repair back, correct back. So why must we want to go and seek, the curing when the body never asks for curing? Body just asks for, replacement of need of nutrients that can lubricate, that can defend, that can protect, back, the two, the ends of the bones. See? So this bioactive glucosamine here again can help to repair damaged cartilage. The cartilage, anytime if it is damaged, good glucosamine will definitely be able to repair the membrane. And after repairing, you protect the joint, strong enough from pressure and also away from friction. See? When the support is strong, no matter how heavy the pressure is, you will never knock at the bones. And if bones don't knock at bones, no friction is created, bones will never cause damage. Even 60 to 70 years of age, can enjoy this benefit because you have enough of this property. Every time you keep supplementing, the need is ready to repair. The need is ready, to care. Thank for the wear and tear. And even this contracting also the same. And I'm very happy with the word, water magnet. Yeah, this is something, when you hear the word water magnet, you don't know what is it, Yes, very, very true. Our joints, especially our knee, our knee, they need water magnet. When you have water magnet here, it will allow the fluid to run in and attract the fluid to go in. If, this particular region don't have a force of the water magnet, certain fluid cannot run in anymore. And prior to daily, if you take food which carries, uric acid and phytic acid, this uric acid and phytic acid will go into the joint earlier than normal. So if too much of the acid enters, you'll dry up, you'll damage, the cavity, and the water magnet disappear. That's why, we want something to act like a water magnet. Then fluid, especially anything that is needed by the joint through our blood, oxygen enough in the blood will send the fluid, strong enough to fill up the gap. Water magnet, they can extract this sort of, can attract this sort of fluid, entering, the cartilage. So when things happen like that, you start to have cushion already. You start to feel there is some cushion now. And when there's cushion and enough of the fluid as a lubricant, both the ends of the bone will not knock anymore. They are suspended. They move freely. They move freely. They can move freely. You can never even hear a creaking noise. People always say, I squat, I stand, crock, stand, crock, stand. Creaking. That means it's already no lubricant. And then maybe 3 years ago, water magnet not there. So these are the type of people who need chondroitin, giving us the property of something like water magnet to attract, properties of fluid into the cartilage, the region to act as cushion and to lubricate, the bones to move. Okay. So whoever out there, anybody, if already complaining about knee pain, and if doctor already recommended, any type of medication, most of which is only painkiller, this pain might go away, but the repair is not done. So the pain will continue to haunt you the rest of your life. And if you want a good effect, which I've been teaching to a lot of my clients and my patients, okay? When they have pain, they take glucosamine, they take chondroitin. Here I can show you. You can, after which I purposely today, wear short pants because I want to show you, my knee here. Knee here. We tap here. You see or not? Tap here. Tap. It's really important. Every day, the knee here. Knee here. Tap here. At 90 degrees. When you sit on the chair with a 90 degree, both these hands, you can tap. Tap. Tap for 5 minutes. You can hit on one side, you can hit on one side here. Whoever were to do it, after a few minutes, you will see pinkish, reddish, mark show on the surface of the skin. Why redness shows up? When you see after tapping for 5 minutes, redness appear, means, blood already gushed to this region. And when blood now gushed to this region, it is sending oxygen, nutrients, into the cartilage, and when these fluids, are sent inside, you will act as a lubricant. First, you will take the acid out from the joints. This is the most important. If we tap, and send gush of oxygenated blood, more blood enters this region, means, more synovial fluid will be retained. And if you take chondroitin, it goes in very fast. And then glucosamine, you will then, to strengthen the cartilage. So in no time, the pain disappeared. The pain will disappear in no time. This is something, that you can also teach someone. We want people taking product works better. And when you sell something where people buy, and you also teach them the art, certain art of what you need to do. And if it works better, they will treat you as a natural consultant. They believe in you. They know you can save, people and help people from pain and suffering. They'll come back for more information. See? I'm happy to share information. I don't keep to myself. Then things work for my people, for those who are suffering from pain 10, 20 of years, even taking painkillers doesn't help. I tell them the art of, certain exercise, what you need to do, you see, and they'll start to benefit. And I have been tapping my knee every day. Sunday, I don't tap. Monday to Saturday, 6 days a week, I tap my knee. Minimum 5 minutes. Sometimes I do 8 to 10 minutes. It depends on my time. I got more time, I do more. If not, minimum 5 minutes every morning. This is something we can share, and we want people to stay away from pain. We want you to live, with good, the health and, freedom to, move around without, pain, suffering, and discomfort. Okay. So this is something. Understand the product. Understand certain activity or certain things we need to do for the body. If we coordinate all what we know of and put into practice, supplements I take, what exercise I do and reacted upon, I feel better. People will come more and more and you become popular. I tell you, that's how, the people will come back for more informations, and they know that you got informations, you got knowledge, that you can share and are willing to share. You see? So once, when you have chondroitin and glucosamine, you already feel better. And together with, just now I teach you how to tap your knee. I tell you, it works very fast. And what if the person believe you and take astaxanthin? I'm very happy with astaxanthin for one very important concern. It is so high in the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, the response to what, to the pain. And once it reacted fast onto any of the joints, it will totally disappear. I call it, it is a rejuvenating effect. Astaxanthin. Okay? So from a chondroitin, build and glucosamine build to, the repair, comes along, now relief. So when you talk about building, repairing, correcting, rejuvenating, comes astaxanthin. And anything that we use that can help to rejuvenate, of course, must have high antioxidant property together with, anti-inflammatory response. Yeah? And astaxanthin itself, in fact, can also act as a natural pain reliever. It can, because at any time when it reduces the inflammation, the pain symptom, by all means, it can be related to arthritis or even, the gout also will disappear. Anti-inflammation, inflammation, if you can bring down a certain degree below the peak, the pain automatically disappears. This is what we want in a natural way, responding to, the natural need. Okay? That's why painkillers on NZs, you see, which are anti-inflammatory drugs, may only relieve the pain temporarily. At that moment, you take, yes, it can be instant, but temporary. Okay? And it will never heal. So it's different, Any drug you take is only suppressing the pain, but not healing your concern. Okay? So if it is painful, as I mentioned earlier, you still can go ahead to take painkiller to stop the pain. But after that, you need to do something to build, correct, and repair. That's why food supplement has to work with any drug doctor gives us. We cannot take for granted, I take something to shut up my body and I get well. You only shut up the body, don't talk to me. But the pain tomorrow will come and report to you again. They don't talk, but they can report. So you cannot shut up the body. You need the body to keep reporting. Anytime, anything that is wrong, we have to know. We want the body to talk to us in that extent. And all these, the products are patented, branded with, the ingredients which are richly researched. Like you talk about glucosamine from Iberica, highest glucosamine from world-renowned joint leader from Spain. And when you talk about chondroitin from CS Bioactive, that was patented and branded, the unique molecular properties you're talking about is to enable the body to easily absorb and synthesize for efficacy. Number one, research chondroitin in the world and tested in more than 20 clinical trials, not just testimony. And real astaxanthin is 100% naturally derived microalgae. The species we are talking about is Hematococcus pluvialis. Other species may not give you the property of high potent astaxanthin, solvent free, and supercritical carbon dioxide extraction, a very high tech way of processing the astaxanthin. So because of high grade process, it is then pure, to which is free of contaminants. Something very important if you talk about seafood, which we want to use as supplements for good health. Anything in the ocean might be exposed to contaminants, and if you don't come up with a high stringent the way of process, you might be taking some property of the mercury, isn't it? So we need a product that is highly processed with modern technology to make sure the product is pure and no contaminants are still there. So, and then the fourth product, of course, is this calcium complex. And here, don't despise this calcium, which a lot of people, when you hear the word calcium, people can say, well, the market, a lot of people, there are wide range of products named calcium. But if we understand deep within calcium, we'll know what are those calcium which we are not supposed to take a lot, and what are those calcium having good combinations can do to our body. That's why we dare to say complete bone health formula. Complete bone health formula means it will never allow this content of calcium to go elsewhere. What is really needed must be synthesized and not forced into the blood, stay put, or even hurt our heart. So yes, it came from eggshell calcium, which it has high content of vitamin D2 and monaquine gold, vitamin K2-7, properties of magnesium, and added the combination of colostrum milk, which is the basic protein of CBP needed that can work together by strengthening our bones, muscles, tendons, cartilage. The overall combination that really can build a strong skeletal system, not just the bones, even alongside with our cartilage, tendons, and the muscles. Yeah. So the core factors, to enhance calcium, the absorption, it ensures no calcium is accumulated in the arteries or even our soft tissues, the linings of the artery. There are a lot of calcium out in the market, which when I saw, and I did even bought a lot in the market, took into the lab and analyzed them. I'm very, shocked to see most of those calcium we took might, eventually hurt us, might eventually, lead to even heart complaints or cardiac arrest. Because this property of calcium may not go to strengthen the bones, but may force into the blood and into our heart cavity, especially, the coronary vessels, which, the second and the third, we cannot have wrong calcium to enter our coronary vessel. There are 5 of them, first and second, third. These 3, normally, calcium, wrong calcium will penetrate, and that will lead to heart attack, cardiac, arrest. There are many times people say, I take this and I take that. we must take correct calcium. Don't just say, I take calcium. I must take correct calcium, richly researched and explain so that I know the calcium I take is meant for what I need. And not to allow those unwanted calcium to flood the blood, causing, atherosclerosis or arteriosclerosis, or even one day ending up heart problem. So this is where calcium comes in, and not everybody is selling the same calcium. So don't say, when somebody come in and ask you about calcium, talk to them, tell them, can you have some time that I can spare with you? Don't just say, well, you already been taking calcium and all calciums are the same. Calcium of different meat, different companies are all different calcium. Same name, label as calcium, but the properties and the ingredients, the combination and the formula can never be the same. So if it is for your benefit and if it's for the better health of human beings, we want a better, real calcium needed by us. We cannot just calcium to sell and to make a profit. No, that is not enough. And that can never be good. What we really need is a good product that is beneficial for the whole well-being of the person is important. So I hope all of you understand, the calcium we are selling compared to calcium, outside. There are a lot in the market. So must understand deep the thing, okay? Now, calcium should not be taken alone, which is very true. But most of the calcium products in the market, probably, most of them have, calcium and magnesium. These are the two combinations. Minimum, you need to have two. You cannot just take calcium alone, which is very dangerous. It will end up in the blood, in your heart, or it might, create certain havoc in the system. It needs a combination. So that's why a combination and a formula in your calcium is important. So if you take calcium alone, it will deposit in the soft tissue, in the artery lining. That definitely is going to cause a lot of problem, atherosclerosis, isn't it? That's why for every bone fracture, calcium supplementation prevents. It causes two potentially fatal cardiovascular disease events. That's why calcium supplementation increases the risk of arterial plaque buildup and heart damage. That's why some people, when they heard over some friends telling them they got a heart attack, something goes wrong because they are taking calcium. So when you talk about your calcium, they are scared. Because it's the same word calcium. But you tell them the formula is different. If you just continue to take calcium without other formulas added, it creates this problem. You need good formula, good combination to enable, this calcium to be properly synthesized by our bones or any part of the body that requires calcium. Not only our blood, not only our bones. Like, it also leads to weakened bones, teeth, constipation, kidney stones, and even, kidney failure. All these are wrong calcium, which you keep telling people you are taking. It might be even 5 years to 10 years already. So once you know the calcium you take might not be a good type or wrong formula, better stop. It is your body. Something is going to go wrong. And don't wait until your body starts to show the wrongs. Change. Take what is correct so that the next 10, 20 years, you are still here. Your heart will not leave you. You see? And your blood will never, the soft tissues will never be, the blocked or narrowed down. See? So calcium, works together with other nutrients to protect your bones and heart. And there is from the gut blood, bones and teeth, and where it matters most. Here, I want to tell you an extra benefit. Where it matters most. Calcium, you know. When you talk about calcium, I'm very sure everybody, you know, knows it's for my bones. Just that, you know. But if you go further, deep and deeper into, you know, nutritional need with, you know, the biological profile of our organs, you know, calcium, where it matters most, I can tell you, not bones, our stomach. A lot of people don't understand, including doctors. When I give talks, you know, to doctors and I mention about calcium, where it goes, you know, they got a shock of their life. Where calcium matters most. In fact, when they talk about where it matters most, I would say it's not the bone, it's not the skeletal system, it is our stomach. I can just explain briefly. Every day, you know, our stomach secretes acid. And the acid is so concentrated, you know. At the bottom column, so the two sides of the stomach and the bottom cavity, the membrane, yeah, concentrated acid will melt. It is corrosive when it's concentrated. You burn and corrupt our stomach membrane, and nobody can live. Everybody will die. Why we still live? Why every day we still survive? Because the food that contains, you know, calcium is one center, the stomach and digest, you know, is not yet going to be, you know, going to the bones. It will protect the membrane of the stomach. This calcium will protect the membrane of the stomach so that this acid, the hydrochloric, will not melt, cannot be corrosive. And in so doing, this calcium, after protecting this membrane, also allows our stomach every 2 days, a new tissue start to grow back. A very beautiful stomach biography, which you never heard of. I'm very sure a lot of people never ever heard of. Every 2 days, the membrane of our stomach lower, half portion of two sides of the stomach and the lower region, you need, you know, traces of calcium to protect, so that the acid react on the calcium will not be corrosive to the membrane. If not, it is so corrosive that our stomach membrane cannot grow back. And if the stomach membrane every day, every 2 days, if no new membrane grows back, we are dead. We are dead. This is one only today you hear. A lot of people, when they start to hear this, they are so surprised, you know. That's why calcium is so important. Yes, from the gut, from your, you know, the blood, you know, and the bones, teeth, everywhere. But where it matters most, I would tell you, it is our stomach. And it is everybody's responsibility to have enough of this calcium that protect your stomach first. The stomach is the one organ that, you know, processes the food, digests all the food, you see? And it has to, you know, have calcium to protect it before you talk about other organs. This is something very extraordinary when calcium is alone. See? When calcium is needed by, you know, so many parts of a body, you don't understand. And to a certain degree, our parasympathetic system also needs calcium. If traces of calcium don't reach, you cannot sleep. And doctor also says you suffer from insomnia. You see or not? So there are many things, many factors. Deficient of just calcium, many things in the body cannot perform. And you feel differently. And when you see doctor just listen to your complaint. They give you drug for that, but they don't understand the need. It's not the drug reacting on what you complain to the doctor, is your body need. And you take that something is not responding to the need. It's only, suppressing your pain and discomfort. Yeah? Something like this is extra knowledge. Something, we have to realize our body is so beautiful. Yeah. Our organs are so, awesome that, everything we throw into the mouth must have, minerals, all which every cells need. That's why supplements, whoever spend monthly on supplements is not a waste of money. It is just maybe, you buy wrong supplement, wrong grade, not richly processed. That's why I say my calcium, same name, different, the ingredient, different formula, will never give you, correct need. The need is important. Yeah. So this is something we want to share. Yeah. You see. So if you talk about magnesium, I convert vitamin D into its active form, so that it can prevent calcium buildup at soft tissue such as arteries. See? So sometimes if you don't have the correct the formula, this calcium definitely might be forced into the blood. That eventually will narrow down, causing atherosclerosis. So you see, we need the magnesium harvested from pristine waters off the coast of Iceland, higher bioavailability compared to magnesium oxide. Wrong. It's magnesium oxide and magnesium is different. So our gut, from eggshell calcium with D2 helps. And the blood vessels, with D2 also, enable the calcium to be absorbed into, the where it needs. Without a good combination, those that really need will not absorb enough. And those who don't need might be forced into. You see? That's why we say correct formula. Why we say correct form, the combination is important. All these play a biological need, which, all the cells, which is in demand of what sort of nutrients will be provided to, perform the need, to handle the gut, blood vessels, and bone. See? So, you see, we need to have all these properties in our calcium. Not just, the word calcium alone. High is good enough. High calcium is not enough. You need to have other properties to make it assimilable. Yeah, there's another word, assimilable. Not only absorb, assimilable. You see, and the vitamin K2 directs calcium, from the bloodstream into the bones. It will not stay in the blood. It will direct to the bones. In other words, it sends the right, need of calcium to the right place of your bones. K2 can direct, can do, this converting, the demand. And it prevents calcium from being accumulated in the arteries and the heart, which we don't want. They are not supposed to stay. They are supposed to bypass from the blood into, wherever they need calcium. They are not supposed to stay in the artery or the soft tissue. And the K2, is so stable throughout, the shelf life in highly alkaline condition, especially in the presence of calcium and magnesium. That is how, our formula here with the Nightwing Gold, vitamin K2 assists in this nature, in this function, in this process. Other, the calcium don't have the K2, and they don't have D2, they might have D3 or even D, and then they have K1, which, the best profile of K2 is needed now for better utilization of calcium in strengthening to make sure the bone is strong and healthy. Then if you look at this chart, vitamin K1 versus K2, what is the difference? Like plants with leafy green vegetables, yeah, they do have vitamin K. How much of the K1 I don't know. Very rare, very low. Whereas our calcium complex come from fermented, the properties of food, and if you find any product like yogurt or kimchi, this also will give you K2, but you must take correct the dosage to make sure the body can fully utilize. Too much also cannot, too little is insufficient. So we give you this calcium complex with the dosage ready for body need. And the risk of deficiency, for ladies, especially when they reach the age of menopause, your body needs high property of K2. Whereas if we take just the calcium with K1, it's not enough. And then K1 only help in blood clotting, prevents you from bleeding to death. Whereas the function of K2, well, it can activate two proteins that regulate the dietary calcium within the body into the need wherever in your system, and wherever is needed. First, as I mentioned before, is to the stomach. You see, so you will activate it into protein. You coat and then strong enough act as a barrier with disalign the acid to attack or corrode the membrane of the stomach, and lowers the inflammation. Yeah, it's anti-inflammatory. Okay, effects on heart health. It prevents even calcium from accumulating in your arteries, in your heart. Okay? That's why when they did the research in Tokyo, the risk of hip fractures is significantly lower compared to Western Japan, where fermented foods are not often consumed. So those who consume, the certain times consume certain fermented food is good, like bean curd, fermented bean curd, ulam, kimchi. All these are properties of food, giving us better assimilable vitamin K2. And a little known nutrient that can make a big difference in bone and heart health. K2, a very little known nutrient. Means few people talk about it. But it is so much needed for bone health and heart strength. Osteocalcium. Calcium promotes bone mineralization, directs and binds calcium into bones and teeth. When we talk about K2, the osteocalcium, when we take it also protects our parathyroid. And within the parathyroid, when reacted, will start to secrete calcitonin hormone. So important. K2 reacted upon our the parathyroid, produce calcitonin, and calcitonin is whereby it will help us to look at the health of your skeletal system. Bones, are properly accumulating the needed calcium with calcitonin hormone. K2 that transpire upon our parathyroid will allow the body to secrete this needed calcitonin hormone to handle the body's skeletal system and skeletal health. You'll never run a loss of calcium by then. And matrix GLA, the lactic acid, and then protein calcium inhibits calcification, will not allow no calcification. Removes excess calcium that might accumulate in the soft tissue. So when this happens, you are free from blood narrowing down or atherosclerosis or even arteriosclerosis. So when D2 and K2 combine together, you know, it will disallow your bone to break down, and at the same time alleviating the heart, the bone, health, enable the bone cells to, be able to grow back, and the mass, strong enough to protect the whole density of the bones. These are important properties. D2 and K2 are so much needed by our bones when the overall health of the bones are concerned. See? So when calcium is taken into the system, our gut, our blood vessel, and our bones will be able to continuously assimilate them. They are there, they are ready, and this eggshell calcium contains, transport proteins and a wide spectrum of essential trace minerals like strontium, zinc, phosphorus, and boron. All these make a strong bone, healthy and durable bones. We can never ever ask for hard and brittle bones. We don't want. You want strong and durable bones. And our calcium complex, because of the eggshell, gives the body a better assimilation compared to rock or limestone, which are calcium carbonate. Sold in America, a lot of calcium are calcium carbonate. We don't need those. We need, K2, D2 content of these minerals, the strontium, the phosphorus, the barium, the zinc. These are the important formula inside the eggshell itself. You don't add them. It's ready. See? So these are natural properties. We don't add something of chemical base. See? So milk protein as an extra source. That's why milk protein is added is for calcium absorption, and at the same time also to reduce bone breakdown. See? You will not allow, the bone breaking down. You only want to make bone but not break bone. And the Super-X, the milk protein, it has a very small molecule. It's very small molecule, not nanomolecule, meant for easier absorption. If it is big, our bone density might not be able to, might reject instead of, receive. And what we call the synthesize. So this supercharges calcium absorption. This, the eggshell, the protein with the added protein supercharges calcium absorption in between our body accordingly to wherever it needs. So the calcium, from the eggshell keep inhibiting. That means, disallow breakdown of bones. Keep elevating, enhancing. We call osteoblast means keep building good bones. We don't want breaking down. You want, building back. Even damage, injury, you need to keep building them, repair, speed up the process of recovery. So stimulates, bone building, we call osteoblastic activity. Inhibits bone breaking, we call osteoclastic activity. So it significantly can increase the growth, and our density of the bones will improve, become better, become stronger. So this colostrum milk is from New Zealand, derived from New Zealand. The comparison of eggshell calcium with ordinary calcium carbonate and some plant-based calcium. Plant-based calcium is good but low nutrient. K, sometimes it's only K, cannot be, you can't even see K1. No doubt it's printed, it contains K1. Yeah, a lot of it, if not properly processed, also depleted. Okay? And this extra calcium contains transport protein that help to enhance calcium absorption, provides a very natural occurring trace minerals like strontium, which is very important for the bone. That makes the bone durable. Zinc makes the bone, every time immunity high. Phosphorus, also enable the bone to become, durable. And it is where, minerals of whatever needed by the bones can go in. Phosphorus bring them in. And boron will eventually makes the bone, shiny. Bones become shiny. Yeah, including or even your fingernails. If you got a chance to look at your fingernails, you don't use nail polish, Naturally, if your fingernails start to glow, is an indication of you have enough boron, you have enough strontium, zinc, silicon, all these are enough. So more minerals for your bones and health. Not only this, we need more and more. This is only among those needed, but we need several others to make the overall, the body healthy, including our nails. That's why when you see nails, when a person's nails got like, the lines coming up, this means, your protein is low. That's why, our calcium complex contains, the colostrum milk from New Zealand is meant for this purpose. So to those, if they come to you and show you, how come my fingernails got lines, and then it's already got it's very coarse. Instead of smooth, it becomes coarse and got lines. These are deficient in protein. So our calcium complex here is the one that can help those people suffering from this problem. So calcium carbonate, very difficult to be absorbed into the bones and may cause stomach discomfort. You see, we need good calcium to protect the stomach. This calcium carbonate interact with the acid and start to make our stomach even uncomfortable. Your stomach will start to bloat. Instead of protecting the stomach, it is allowing the acid to react on the stomach. That's why it causes even stomach cramp or even constipation. Whereas if you compare the plant-based calcium derived from algae and coral, we are, worried about heavy metals contamination. Yeah, they are better than, sometimes raw calcium or even animal calcium bones. But, who knows, in the ocean, if those who harvest don't thoroughly clean and process, it might bring, heavy metals into your calcium. So this is where we are worried. So changes in femoral neck bone density. Oh, this is in fact, very important. Our eggshell calcium protects. When you talk about, the femoral neck means our bone, the end. If we talk about our knee is rounded, but if we talk about shoulder blade here, it's femoral. That means another piece come out like that, femoral neck bone. This is important. This neck bone must be very strong and must be durable. You see, our eggshell calcium gives us this need. You see, this femoral bone, about here, or the flap here, or even the pelvic bone. These are all the femoral neck bone. They need good, protein in support, to phosphorus reacted on the calcium to strengthen this piece. We call femoral neck. This is the bone part, and that is the neck. Okay, so this is something so important, and we can, attach to this, by telling you eggshell calcium works better than other calcium when we talk about femoral neck bone density, strong, durable, very healthy, very strong, and very durable. That's where the eggshells are becoming very popular when the world started to use eggshell, as calcium, people complain and people start to, talk bad about eggshell. But as time goes on and more scientists did more and more research, all these researchers came out through the institutions, to prove that, the best calcium for human bones, skeletal system, structural system is still, eggshell. Yeah. So now what do they have? If you compare regular other brand, the brand A 200, the magnesium mg, brand C 600, brand U 200, ours 400. Magnesium is 3.33, brand C none, and then the brand U 100, ours 102 magnesium. And then vitamin D, brand A D3 to 233, all the rest also have. Ours is D2 and 200. All of them D3, I don't know how true it is it or not? Sometimes label only, but ours is D2, which we want to combine with the K2 to make sure our bone mass, bone density on the femoral bone is extremely strong. And then vitamin K, microgram, brand AC none, brand U got K1 15, and ours K2 40. And then the top of the protein, none of them. All these regular brand contain none of the milk protein. We have 25 of the colostrum milk from New Zealand. So this is where we want to compare. We want to let you see, what is different. Calcium is the same. The ingredient is different. So that is how we can tell, those who want to know more about our calcium, why it is better. So if we understand the need now, and if we are very serious, wanting to have freedom with heavy, healthy bones and joints, then it's good to take the 4. Chondroitin can take 1 tablet. You can take 1 morning, 1 night, or 1 morning, 1 afternoon, 1 night. Preferably after meals, or you can be empty stomach depending on your stomach. If it's sensitive, after meal. And the first 3 months for glucosamine, that you just take 1 tablet per day. What's our first 3 months? 1 tablet, 3 times per day, or according to your physician. If your physician want to, check on you, and the thing you need just 2, well, you can go ahead. After 3 months, you either take 1 tablet 2 times a day for maintenance, or you can take 3 times, depending. Like glucosamine, I take non-stop 1 morning, 1 night. I would take non-stop the rest of my life. You must know, we can never grow young anymore. We are growing old. Growing old means, a lot of times body might not be able to absorb fast. Second is, your body is losing out. And a lot of food you take not enough to support. And as you grow older, you expect, and hope your body is still able to move freely. That was among the so many reasons I keep on supplementing my body. Even though I don't have any defect, I don't have pain, I don't have suffering. Because of how much I've invested, in my body through the supplements. And for astaxanthin, if you can afford, it's good to take 1 morning, 1 night, the rest of your life, or anytime. After a few months, you can stop 1 week, then you can continue again. It all depends on, first, you can afford or not. People say, "Oh, so much I can't," isn't it? If you can't, then go and earn extra money lah. Talk to people more, learn more. Do more sales, sponsor more people. If you are not forced to, sometimes if you have enough to spend alone and your body don't demand more You become lazy to expand, your network. So we also must find more money so that we can spend on ourselves for a better health for, tomorrow to come. And for calcium, take 2 to 3, tablets once daily and after meals. Okay. And calcium again, ladies need more than men. When you are before menopause, middle age, you need a lot. You need a lot. And once you menopause, you also need to suffice the need of calcium to make you live after menopause healthily the rest of your life. And you still got, opportunity, freedom to travel anytime you want. Because, the body is able to move, healthy to move, isn't it? And yes, many times, after our talk, we are talking about this smart fitness, isn't it? And today, we are talking especially about, our skeletal system, our muscle, our bones, This is the best, combination today. If you take, say, chondroitin, glucosamine, astaxanthin, and then the calcium complex with smart fitness, it works better. This is further enhancing our body for a better assimilation to speed up the recovery process of those, or which part of the body systems that is really in need of all these ingredients: chondroitin, glucosamine, astaxanthin, and calcium complex. So you can incorporate the smart fitness into the daily routine. After all, you're taking other supplements as well, isn't it? The device that help a person to just stay in one place, and you're already doing the daily exercise, like people going to the field for 2 hours, exposed to the environment, in crowded areas, and sometimes you don't even have the time to travel to even the gym or to even the parks. So at home, in your shop, anywhere, in your bedroom, after coming back, before retiring, you can even do, isn't it? The one thing is, people sometimes are too lazy. So you have to plan yourself, do something that is right, learn something that is good, and continue to do what is good for the body. Don't stop. Something, our body ever ask and ever expect of us, to do. So symptoms of locomotive syndrome. Does any apply to you? There are 7 images here. 7 warning signs of locomotive syndrome. If out of these 7, if any one of them were to apply to you, it's already an indication your body is already waiting for things you take, or supplements you take to supplement them. Like you can't put your socks while standing on one leg. Yeah, sometimes there's a bit of off balance. You often trip or sleep in the house, which you shouldn't. You're supposed to walk, isn't it? Without incidents of sleeping. And you need to hold on to handrail when climbing the stairs. You're supposed to walk out free. Yeah, you don't have to hold on something. You have difficulty doing moderately heavy housework. Heavy housework, if you are doing every day, it shouldn't be a problem. You have difficulty carrying 2 kilos of shopping items. Last time you can carry 10 kilos, now 2 kilos also you complain. You can't walk for a quarter of an hour non-stop. Something wrong? Structurally, not only your bone, it's already 3 systems out. And you can't make it across the road, before the light turns, red again. Just across the road, red light already. So 7 images here. If you fall, 1 or 2 fall upon you, then your body is already demanding something. Your body is already telling you, my structural system is unhealthy and needs, nutrients, needs supplements, need correct food. Don't wait. when locomotive syndrome appears, they are already talking to you, asking for help, and you cannot delay them. The faster, the better you rectify, the earlier you benefit, and tomorrow you wake up, a healthy you. So I hope that, every one of us start to realize how important it is, that calcium, and, our structural system, and those products that, or food we do, that is able to enable us, to really be able to move freely every day. You can be 60, 70, or until 80 years old, but still got freedom to move. So don't wait till it brings you down to your knees. That's too late. Some people till the knees also don't want to take until, paralyzed or bedridden. That's even worse, isn't it? So don't ever wait. A slightest, the weakness that shows in the body means, they ask for help. They are not asking you to cure them. They are asking you, understand me what I need, feed me correctly, strengthen me, I serve you right. So when the body asks for something, answer them. Don't delay them. This is your body, not my body. So I hope, today you learn something of structural system, nervous, muscular, skeletal, and you can share this, with your friends. And of course, your own problem. You yourself must also make sure your systems structurally, muscularly, skeletally healthy enough to perform, and it will not restrict your movement, allow you to, to enjoy life, not only today, tomorrow, and the coming future. So I think, I'm Jenny here, and I'll pass, the mic over to Ricky.
Thank you, Dr. Go.
You're welcome.
Okay, if you have any questions you would like to ask Dr. Go, we are here to answer you. Can you please put your question into the Q&A? So if you are interested in our Mandarin session, we are here again tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Please join us if you are interested. Okay, it seems that there isn't any questions for now. So I'll see you again, Dr. Go.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Hold on, Dr. Go. We have one question here.
Okay.
It's about how to, combine the dosage of Cosway, glucosamine, chondroitin, and astaxanthin, and this calcium.
Yeah, just now down there, there's one slide that teaches, how to take. It's already there, isn't it? If you look at like normally chondroitin, you can take for normal person, you are still okay. You can move freely, no complaint. Maybe you suspect you are getting weak already. Then you just take one tablet of chondroitin in the morning and one at night. And then the glucosamine also the same, one morning, one night. Astaxanthin, one per day is good enough. And then the calcium complex is good to take, 2 in the morning and 1 at night. For general people, unless you already complain about weakness of the structural system or skeletal system, then you better take 2 morning, 2 night calcium complex. The rest, can, take 1 morning, 1 night. But calcium complex go 2 morning, 2 night. Astaxanthin, maybe you can take, 1 morning, 1 night. If to those having chronic case. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Go.
You're welcome.
All right, so we called it a day today, and we'll see you tomorrow, Dr. Go.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.